All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Abby Rogers. I'm with the Missouri Small Business Development Center at Missouri Southern State University. We are located on the third floor. We do no-cost consulting for small businesses if you have a business idea, all the way up to your business being active. Today, we are going to listen to Kristen Hawkins. She is the founder and CEO of Huck, a super neat dog boutique in downtown Carl Junction, Missouri. She is a graduate of Missouri Southern State University and uses her business background to create a unique blend of products, services, and community events that enrich the lives of dogs and their people. Kristen is a strong advocate of animal rights and actively participates in animal-assisted therapy work. Please welcome me in joining Kristen Hawkins. Okay, can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Okay, cool. So like Abby said, I'm Kristen. I own Pup, a super neat dog boutique in downtown Carl Junction. We are a dog-focused retail store that carries everything you need to live a better life with your dog. Toys, treats, food, accessories, pretty much you name it. If it's for a dog or a person that likes a dog, we have it in our store. We also host fun and engaging community events in Joplin and Carl Junction throughout the year for dogs and people who love them. I'm excited to be here. I'm also nervous. I did not expect this many people to be here. So I'm glad that you're here, but I'm also like, we're gonna make the most of it. I really dislike being the center of attention, so this is unusual for me, but we're getting out of our comfort zone and doing it. I'm just going to talk about what led me to open my own store and what brought me here today and some of the lessons that I've learned in my first couple of years of business. And I don't think it's going to be a full hour, so we'll probably have time for questions if anybody has them. I love to have dialogue and chat. So, 3 truths and a lie. The lie is that all of these are true. I grew up in a really small town of about 3,500 people in central Missouri. There were about 100 people in my graduating class, so it was very, very tiny. I left my hometown to start a career in the music industry. I decided that I wanted to be a music journalist, but Mizzou in Columbia was far too close to home, so that brought me to Joplin. I actually moved here to work at an old venue in town called the Foundry, if anybody has heard of that or been around for a while. Spoiler alert, I don't work in the music industry now, although I did. That's actually how I met my husband, and then life moves you forward and you find new and interesting things to do. I graduated from Missouri Southern in 2010, which was a very long time ago, with my bachelor's in business administration, and then about a decade later I came back to get my master's of science in management. And we'll talk about this a little bit more, but after I got my bachelor's, I decided I probably needed a big girl job, like an adult job. I had a college degree. So that led me to a career in financial services, where I worked for about 12 years. And then, you really might not believe this, but I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So not a single day goes by that I'm like, I know exactly what I'm doing. This makes sense. We've got this figured out. It's that old adage of fake it till you make it. I think that's pretty much true for everything. You're likely not going to be very good at something the first or even second time that you try it, but every day you get up and you keep trying and you do it again and again, and eventually you either fall backwards into it or you just kind of figure it out. So, things more interesting than me. This is Zay. He is here. If you've not met him yet, he would love to meet you. He is a 100% good boy, and he is the poster child for our store, showing off currently in the aisle. He's a 4-year-old Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and he is also a certified therapy dog. He's now absolutely showing off. He loves to do school activities like this. He loves to participate in children's programs. We do the reading program at the library. He is the best boy. He also recently started learning agility, and so we're hoping next year he'll be able to compete in his first agility trial. And then this is Lola. She is a 7-month-old now golden retriever. Like her brother, she will one day be a therapy dog, but she just entered the "why do I have a dog?" phase of toddlerhood. So she has a lot of work. She needs a lot more training, and we're currently working on getting her to be able to use more than one brain cell at a time, which is why she's not here today. But she is very sweet, and we love her. So let's talk about what got me here. Like I said, after I finished college, I thought that I needed to get a big girl job, so I sought out a career in the financial services industry. It was stable, nights and weekends off, good pay, lots of holidays, decent vacation time. I was there for about 12 years. I went from being a teller to pretty much everything under the sun. I was an administrative assistant, a project manager. I worked in risk management. I did customer remediation. I started at minimum wage, and by the time I left, I had just crossed the 6-figure mark. And during my time there, I also was nominated for and participated in multiple advanced leadership programs. The bank paid for my master's degree. I won awards that enabled me to travel across the country. And the only reason that I bring that up is because I wasn't planning on leaving. Like, the bank is where I was going to be forever. I planned on staying. I committed my life to that, and that's what I wanted. That's where I was going to stay until I retired. But then, over time, a couple of things happened. The first thing is that restructuring became relentless, and corporate greed really started to bear its ugly head. I found myself in a position that I just very much disagreed with the way that things were being done and the way that people were being treated. In the 6 years leading up to the time that I left, I had 7 different managers, 4 different job titles, and I worked on 3 different teams. Many of those were not my choice. And everybody that I worked with hated their job. They hated being there, they hated going to work every day, they hated what they did. It was an extremely toxic place. And whenever I would bring this up to my management, they would always say, well, it is what it is. Can't change it, right? It just is what it is. So it was during that time that I knew I really needed to start doing something else. I needed to find something else because this just wasn't it anymore. It wasn't driving. It affected my mental health. I was drained every day. I hated going to work. I started drinking a lot more than I probably should. So my husband and I started saving money. We started working on an exit plan, like knowing eventually one day this wasn't going to be it. And then my dad died. And after that, every single time my manager said the phrase to me, it is what it is, I would think, but should it be? Like, why? Why is it what it is? And I realized then that I was done investing time in projects that went literally nowhere, with people who did not care about what they were doing, for a company that wouldn't even send flowers to my dad's funeral. You know, it's done. So a couple months later, I quit. We'd saved enough money that we had about a year for me to figure it out. I also picked up a couple of freelance jobs, and it was scary. It was really scary, actually. But I kept reminding myself, you can always get more money. Like, you can always get more money. Like, you cannot get more time. And that was the driving force that, like, pushed me over the edge to actually quit. So it was around that time that we had the opportunity to purchase the property where our store is. Sorry, I think I'm backwards. No, I'm not backwards. Sorry, no, I am. I'm getting mixed up with my notes. We're right here. Okay. I'm nervous, right? I'm so nervous.
You're great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So during the year that I took time off of work, that I quit my job, I started spending a lot of time with my dogs. That same day, you know him, that's Jack there on the left. And this is June. Jack and June are no longer with us, but fun story about this picture really quick. This was at the Grand Canyon, and she was 13 when we took her trip to the Grand Canyon. And we put her up on this big rock. And there's like a line of people waiting to take that picture. We put her up on this big rock, and then she made the dumbest face. Like, she made that. She was like so happy to be on this rock at the Grand Canyon. And everybody around was just like clapping and applauding. They were so excited for this old dog who got to take a trip to the Grand Canyon. So anyway, after I quit, I just started spending a lot of time with my dogs. I was wrestling with grief. My dogs brought me joy. And then that eventually turned into spending a lot of time with other people's dogs, like a lot of other people's dogs. Some people's dogs their dogs are up there and they are here. So there you go. I did dog walking, I did pet sitting, pretty much anything that involved dogs I said yes to, dog photography. But I learned pretty quickly that pet sitting just wasn't the right fit. Like, I love dogs, but I don't really love taking care of other people's dogs. And that's where I came up with the phrase, like, I can love any dog for 10 minutes, but I don't necessarily want to love your dog for 24 hours. I did know, though, with absolute clarity, that what I wanted to do was be working with animals. So I started dreaming about what version 2 of the store could look like, and now we're caught up to this life. So it was around that time we had the opportunity to purchase the property where our store is, and that's when my vision for Pup really started to grow. My time spent with dogs after losing my dad was priceless. My own dogs, the dogs that I got to care for, they had a tremendous impact on my life and my ability to grieve during that time. And I also realized that the times that I felt most aligned were, strangely enough, the times in my life that I was working in specialty retail. Like, you either love retail or you hate it. You can't explain it, it's just the way that it is. For me, it's fast-paced, it's continually evolving. It has a task list that literally never ends. You're always looking ahead to the next season, the next event, the next sale. And as somebody who really thrives inside of structured chaos, that was like the perfect fit for me. And also having a house store is like just a really cool thing. We travel a lot, and every time we go to a city, we try to find a place that is like a store or a restaurant that's in an old house that's been converted to something else. It's just a fun thing. So we did that. And then through my own experience as both a dog owner and my year of pet sitting, I saw a huge need for more dog-friendly things in our area. There just wasn't enough to do with your dog. More places to go, more events to attend, more stores to shop at. And that need created in me a desire to build somewhere where dog culture can thrive. A place where your dog can come, even if they're reactive, and they can be celebrated, where you can find high-quality, good products for your pet. So in December 2023, we started the process to purchase the property. We closed in April, went through rezoning in May, started remodeling the house in June, and then we opened for business on August 30th, 2024. In our first year, we hosted over 30 community events, both large and small, some outside the store, some at the store. We served well over 650 pet parents in our area. We were also awarded the Rookie of the Year award by our local chamber. We were featured in 4 States magazine, recognized by a globally ranked pet podcast for our branding and marketing strategy, and we were voted best of the 4 states in the pet store category for our first year in business. So, 8 reflections. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. 8 reflections of things that we've accomplished in the first year. Like, I have a business degree, but like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing. I learn more about business every single day. There's a lot to learn, and it's continually evolving. So, no particular order. When I was putting this together, this is what I thought of. Number 1, make it exist and then make it perfect. I remember telling people I'm quitting my job and it's going to work because it has to work. As a recovering perfectionist, that's the biggest lesson that I've learned in the past 2 years. You can write your dreams down on paper, but if you don't ever put it out into the world, you never know if it's going to work or not. Is our dingy 100-year-old house perfect? Absolutely not. The floor is extremely unlevel. It makes merchandising really difficult. It needs a new roof. We need to up our curb appeal, right? Like, the list goes on of things that needs to be better, but the house is there, the store is open, and people like it. So start with something, take the risk, dive in. Even if it's not perfect when you launch it, you've got somewhere to go after that. Number 2, follow your joy and pay attention to resistance. If your gut is telling you not to do something, then probably don't do it, right? Like, same if your gut is telling you that you should do something or that you feel really passionate about something, then run towards that. If you thought you were going in the right direction or it was the right move, but you keep hitting a lot of resistance and it just suddenly feels very, very difficult, like, ask yourself why. Why is this thing now suddenly so hard when I felt like it was easy before? And here's the stupid, easy, weird thing about it. The things that you're good at, they're incredibly easy. Like, they're so easy. That's why you're good at it. And it's, I think in America, we especially are like, oh, well, it has to be hard. I have to hustle. Like I have to continually be like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And that's not really true, I don't think. Like if it's easy and you're good at it, you're just gonna go in that direction, right? Like follow that thing. I think of it like, you all probably got a driver's license, right? You drive your car. But if you're going the wrong way down a one-way street, like that's not right. You know how to drive a car, so just turn around and go the right way. So for me, 2 examples here that really come to mind at this point is our transition from pet care to having a retail store. I knew I wanted to work with animals, but I knew that pet care wasn't exactly it. So we pivoted and we found another way to make it work, a way that's much more aligned with our vision. And then the second one is deciding to be open on Sundays. So when we first opened, I didn't want to be open on Sunday. We were closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm my only employee along with my husband. Occasionally we have somebody that helps us, so it's like literally just us though. And I liked having Sundays off, but I knew I just had this feeling like we need to be open on Sunday. No other store is open on Sunday, like we need to be the ones that are open on Sunday. But I fought it for a really long time, and so finally I was just like, whatever, we're gonna open on Sunday, okay, we're gonna do it. And that decision has been one of the best ones that we've made for our store. It's one of our busiest days of the week. It's a compressed work day, so I'm not even there as long as I am on other days of the week. And we've pivoted to having most of our events on Sunday, which have exponentially increased our turnout for those events. So like just listen to those things and be aware of them, and then try it out. Okay, number 3, some people are gonna hate it. Funny story about right after we opened. 2 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks after our grand opening, we got this review from Bendover. It is a 1-star Google review. There is no context. We also got review bombed on Facebook. Someone, I to this day do not know who, submitted false credit applications in our store's name. But instead of it being under Pup, the store, they submitted it under Poop Store. And that is 100% true. So people aren't going to like it. And that is unhinged behavior. Please never do that. Like that is not the right way to go about telling people that you dislike them. But it sucks and it feels bad. Like it feels bad when people don't like you, when they don't agree with your vision, when they try to bully you and to say to quit what you're doing. But when the haters come out in full force, just remember that you can make it and you can run with it. And we took that Bendover review and we put it on a t-shirt. And we donated 10% of the proceeds to anti-bullying organizations. And I told Daniel, as soon as that came through, we're going to put that on a t-shirt and we're going to sell it. And it's going to be hysterical. And at our 1-year anniversary, that's exactly what we did. So we changed it from then to just 12 months ago. I still have these actually in the store. If you're interested in owning a Bendover t-shirt, you can come get one. So this might not be the right approach for everybody. It's obviously going to depend on your brand and your tone, like your voice that you send out to your customers. But don't let it get you down. Like find a way to use it. Find a way to use negative commentary to like further your mission and where you're going. Number 4, know what you're good at and then stop doing it. And likewise, lean into what you are good at. So remember the thing about resistance. You have to stop trying to do the things that you're not good at and focus on what you are. Because positive momentum is what's going to move you forward. If you hate accounting, hire an accountant. I have a business degree and I hate accounting. I hate it. Like more than anything. I also hate taking out the trash. So I make other people take the trash out. And I switched to using like ceramic coffee mugs to disposable cups because I hate doing the dishes. And so if I'm going to have dishes sit in the sink for 3 weeks, it really affects me. And then I'm not going to get anything done because I feel bad that I have dishes in the sink that I don't want to do, right? So like now I just use paper cups and I can sit in my computer and I can get my office work done, right? So like find those little things, and it seems really silly, really silly. Like just do the dishes, but like I don't want to do the dishes, right? So like I'm just going to toss it, it's okay. And then if you don't know what you're good at, listen to what your customers are telling you. For me, it's social media. We get told all the time how good we are at social media, how much people like our social media. And it comes easy to me. Like it's not difficult for me to find a message to communicate to my customers or to make a quick little thing to put on social media. That comes very, very naturally to me, and so we lean into it. Find what you're really good at, what you like to do, and then just move forward with that. Number 5, find a mentor and look for inspiration outside of your niche. You need a mentor. That could be the entire talk, actually. Guess what? You need a mentor. Get one, find one, and talk to them all the time. You cannot vent to people that are in your immediate circle all the time. You can't do it. You're going to burn them out. You're going to burn yourself out. You need somebody else to talk to. Maybe that's somebody that's in your niche. Maybe it's not. But you have to have someone who's going to challenge you, who's going to push you forward. If your mentor is a yes man, if they're telling you all the time how great they are, how great you are, they're not a very good mentor, right? You need somebody who's going to be like, you know what, you just made a really bad inventory decision, and you need to get out of it. Like, you need to find a way to get out of it. That's what you don't want to hear, but it's what you need to be told. You need somebody who's going to call your BS and tell you when things aren't working. You also need somebody who you can just push ideas off of. Like, for us, when we write really quippy social media posts that sometimes teeter a little bit on maybe too snarky, going back to the pinned over example, it's like, hey, is this too far? Like, did I go to read this and tell me what you think about it, right? So having that group of people that you can push all of those ideas out to and get feedback on is really, really beneficial. And then also find inspiration outside of whatever your industry is. Like, open a private tab, search for something completely unrelated, search it on Instagram, like make Meta change your algorithm, right? Like, don't get stuck in the same cycle of what your algorithm is pushing you. For me, I search interior design, I search what's happening in the flower industry, what festivals are going on in Kansas City, right? Like, it could be anything, but find inspiration that's outside of what you're actually doing. And I think that will be really helpful to like just spark ideas and generate things. Okay, all right, we're doing good. Number 6, don't give up. There will be days that you're like, why am I doing this? Why did I quit my job? Like, why? Like, it was a really, really dumb decision, right? But don't give up. Go outside, go for a walk, hug your dog, take a yoga class, play a video game, like whatever you gotta do, just step away and take a breather. I have notes on my phone that I keep like running logs of things. One of them is literally called, read this when you wonder why you quit the bank. And I do. I read it like probably once a month. I go back to that note. And I wrote it when I was still at the bank. It is a list of experiences that I had and how they made me feel in that moment. And whenever I have days where I'm like, why did I do that? Like, that was why, you know? Then I am there. I'm immediately back in that position again, and I know why I quit. The more time that passes, we start to see things with rose-colored glasses, and you don't want that to happen, right? So you need to be reminded of why you're going forward. And I also, kind of the opposite of that, have a list of positive things, like really nice things that people have said to me. I have customers in this room, actually, and some of the things that you have said to me are on that list. So I have things that I go back to and I think like, this was a really nice experience. This was an event that went absolutely bonkers. Our biggest sale day of the year. Things like that that you can go back to, like, this is my why. This is why I'm doing it. Is really, really helpful. But in the end, just don't give up. Keep going. Number 7. Just be a nice person. It's not hard. It is not hard to choose to be a nice person. Sometimes it is hard to choose to be a nice person, but it is not hard to be nice, right? Like, just be a nice person. Be nice to your customers, your sales reps, your delivery drivers. We were on our way here, actually, and our camera went off that my truck driver is there to deliver our shipment for this week, which is now sitting outside of my store on a pallet. Please don't go steal it. But, like, you know, like, in that opportunity, it's like, you could be snarky or mean or call them and like, what the heck, why are you here? We're not even open. Right? But don't do that. Just be nice. Just like, hey, can you just drop it right there? Sorry that happened. Miscommunication. And I do want to make an important distinction with this because you can be firm with people without being mean to them. Like, you can get your point across. You can express a difference of opinion. You can communicate what you need to say without being a bully. It is 100% possible. If you don't believe that, take a communications class, okay? Because you can communicate your point without being mean to them. They are not mutually exclusive things. I'm also a firm believer in the concept that a rising tide raises all boats. Everybody familiar with that expression? So the idea, if you're not, is when the tide comes in, it raises the water level, and the boats go up with it, okay? So the tide comes in, and every boat that's sitting on the water is going to go up with the tide. You can be nice to your competitors. You don't have to be bend over, right? And you can use that at the same time without being mean to them, you know? So just be nice. Just be a nice person. We've had so many opportunities come to us because I think we are just nice. And that sounds maybe conceited, but I don't care. Like we just are. We've had free marketing. We've been given lots of free marketing, probably close to $1,000 now of free marketing, just because we're nice people. Opportunities like this came up. I didn't sign up for it. They just asked me, and for some reason I said yes. Like so many things, just from being nice. Okay, number 8, it's your business, you can do it how you want. The great thing about running a business in America is that as long as you make the government happy, you can do however you want to do it. It doesn't matter, right? And I have a master's degree in business, so don't follow the rules, just do it how you want to do it. Like there is probably not a business professor in the world who's going to be like, yeah, you know what, open a retail store, which requires high volume of traffic in a bedroom community, in a house, on the dead end side of Main Street, in a tiny town. Nobody's going to tell you to do that. That's crazy. But guess what? It's working. And people like it. People literally drive out of their way to come to our store weekly. So it doesn't have to fit in the book. If you have an idea and you're passionate about it, there are ways to make it work that are absolutely unconventional. And when I started PUP, I met with the SBDC here. They were very helpful, again, so reach out to them if you have an idea. And we started a list of action items that I needed to do. So one of the things on my list was that I needed money. So we had money to start our business, but because we purchased our property and we had remodel expense that was not expected, we had enough money for inventory, but having a little bit of a buffer would have been nice, right? Like it would have been nice to have been able to pay myself for the first year that our store was open. My banker is also in this room. Every single bank in this town told me no. Every single one. But we found a way to make it work. And some of that was unconventional. Some of it was a lot of creative resources. But we didn't let it stop us because I believe so strongly in the vision and what we're doing that we just still found a way to do it. So don't let the roadblocks stop. Don't let them stop you in your place. And also just do it how you want to. Like you don't have to do it the way that everybody else tells you to do it. And then the last one this is a bonus, like leading into that. Bartering's not dead. You guys know what bartering is? Everybody know. So bartering is like, hey, I have a phone, but I need a pen. You just want to switch for the day. Right? Like, I'm going to do this, you have that, we'll work together to make it work. Trade stuff. Like, I have a small business friend that I frequently trade dog food with. I supply her with dog food. She comes to my store and offers her services. We trade resources. She gets high quality dog food. I get business support for free. I get event support for free. Right? It's not technically free, but it's not upfront costs that I'm having to pay at their base rate. Because we have a mutual exchange. She feels good, I feel good, we both move our businesses forward. So kind of with the whole, like every bank said no to me, there are creative ways to make things work. It might not be exactly what you wanted, but you can push through it and you can find those ways. Like use your resources to make it work. Okay. Oh, we're doing this. Okay. Life is short. I would love to help you spoil your dog if you have one. There's coupons in the back, actually, so you can grab a coupon. It isn't technically authorized, but that's fine. I'm my only employee, so I will know that you can bring it back to me, and I will honor this coupon for you. But yeah, thanks for being here. Sorry if I talked fast. I'm so nervous, but I would love to answer any questions if anybody has. question.
You mentioned at the beginning about being service dogs and stuff. Is that something that maybe you do at your store? Do you connect maybe like people who are in need of service or emotional support pets, like with people who train or anything like that? Is that something that you guys do?
Not like technically. I have a list of resources that I can connect you with. Likewise, if somebody needs like a specific dog breed for a specific service, like I can help you like find that. He actually is, as a therapy dog, he doesn't have the same access rights as a service dog, like from ADA requirements. But we do have customers who, this is maybe beyond what your question was, but we do have customers who know that he's a therapy dog and they will send us a DM and like, hey, I'm having a really bad day. Can I pop by and see Zay? Right, and we actually live very close. We live within walking distance of our store. So we run back and get him and then bring him back over to the store so people can meet him and just have some time with him.
Is there like a middleman service between like customers and the service dog kind of industry at all that you're aware
of? There is. I would be very selective.
Yeah. So like, is that something maybe your business would consider doing, or is that like out of the realm?
Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the future. That might be neat.
Okay.
But if you need help finding access to a service dog, please let me know. Okay. Or somebody that you know. Yeah. Dana.
This might be kind of early on in the business, but do you have plans to expand or like, get into other cities?
Ooh, I would love that.
Yeah? Okay.
We actually have dreams of opening a mobile store.
Ooh.
So I want to call it the Putt Bus. And it's like, actually, here's another life hack. So find a way for whatever you really want to make it a business expense. I want an Volkswagen bus. Like me personally, right? So that's going to be...
That's a business expense.
That's a business
for
expense
sure.
if my logo goes on it. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's
It has just a little tiny sticker on the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to eventually. Yeah, I think that's on the 10-year plan.
Cool.
So
Cool.
we're working towards it. Yeah.
Okay. I also have another one. How I love that you're doing so many events. How do we, I assume maybe your social media, how do we find out about your events so that, we can be a part of them?
Oh yeah, social media, Facebook, Instagram. I am not on TikTok because I am an old person and I do not know how to use it. And I believe that you can only really use 2 social medias. So if anybody wants to do my TikTok, please call me. Yeah, so Facebook, Instagram. We also have a newsletter. You can sign up at pupthestore.com for our newsletter, and we send info out about our events. Do that. So
Awesome.
we try to do 2 a month, one small one at the store, and then maybe it's either like another small event at the store. We have about every quarter. We usually have like a big event, whether that's our block party. We just had our Halloween party, Christmas, occasionally.
Okay. And I had another question. You mentioned at the beginning that your dog is going to be soon going through an agility trial. Can you tell me what that means?
Have you seen on TV when dogs do the jumps?
Yes.
That's that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Are you doing that with all your dogs or just the one?
Lola will probably do it too. Her dad is actually like a champion dock diver.
Oh.
So he's the dog that like runs down the dock and jumps in the water to get the buoy.
Wow.
So we might explore that with her too. She's still so young. We don't know
So
yet,
cool.
but yeah.
So cool.
But you should YouTube Corgis doing agility because seeing those little butts like jump up over the thing is like will make your Saturday.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's all the questions I had.
Who would you consider to be like your mentor throughout this whole life journey of yours as life?
The whole life journey or just the stories?
All of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, that's a hard question. My dad was my best friend, so losing him was really hard. Through the store, I have actually like a product, she is a business coach that is specific to the pet industry. But it's kind of like I said, like you have different things for different people. Like I'm a learner and I try to learn things from everyone. Dana actually has a cleaning business. So I've learned things from Dana, even in the little bit that we've worked together. Tabitha owns Shiki Joplin. So like you can learn from anybody. And I think just always being open to those opportunities of like everything is interesting, right? Like take that perspective. Like literally I can learn something from everyone. And then you just kind of put all it together, and over time, you end up a cool person with me. Yeah, did you have a question? Yeah.
What were some unexpected difficulties you faced while trying to like operate your business?
Oh, that's a good one. So after we purchased, well, we had a very difficult time purchasing the property, but that's a story for another day. So real estate is tough. We also had to cut down three or four trees. I almost included a picture of the house before we cut the trees down, but you couldn't even see the front of the house. So that was a few $1,000s that we weren't expecting to have to spend. Beyond that, the hardest thing over the past year, honestly, has been the current state of the economy. It has been very difficult to deal with tariffs and like sourcing things that are still quality products that stay within the price range of where you need them to be. But again, you use your resources and you find creative ways to make it work. Bartering is your best friend, so even it kind of all goes back together, right? Like, be a nice person, be nice to your brands. Like, I can't afford to pay tariff on that. What can we do to make it work? And having those like honest conversations is really, like, you would be surprised at what comes out of just being honest with people in those types of conversations. So, yeah, that's a good question. Lydia? Yeah.
What does like a typical like day in the life of running your business look like?
Oh, that's a great question. So I currently do pretty much everything, which is not like pat on my own back. Like, I wish it was not that way. One day we will have another employee who's working for us full time. But I also very much don't believe in like hustle culture. I don't believe in it. I didn't quit my job to work 300 hours a week and like beat myself into the ground. So I wake up at like 7. I hang out with my dog for 3 hours and I drink some coffee, and then I go to the store about 30 minutes before we open. And am I in the right realm of your question? Where are we going? Okay. So then for retail specifically, you're always moving stuff around, cleaning, merchandising. We've got to make sure everything goes into the system that we're ordering, doing the ordering, making sure those get done on time, helping customers, offering the best service that you can offer. When people pop into our store, actually, it's like their dog is the entire reason that I'm there. So if anybody ever comes to our store and you don't feel like your dog is the center of our universe, then please tell me, because we have a problem. But yeah, and then I try to compartmentalize as much as I can. So like Tuesday is social media day, plan on social media. Wednesday is like, hey, remember that you own a business and you have to do accounting day, right? Because I don't like doing accounting. Thursday is get things ready for ordering. So we try to batch it as much as we can, but checklists are your best friend to keep it all organized. Yes.
I'm wondering, like, I'm in the process of starting my own business too, and for me, my biggest fear is meeting customer expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's like for you, like opening like a dog, like learning everything about the products and like being able to answer customers' questions. Like, did you do any training on the products, or you just kind of like wing it and learn as you go?
Yeah, so there definitely was that. It was like, especially with dog food and supplements, like I had a lot to learn. And I think with that, it's that positive momentum. Like, so learn one thing and then keep stacking on that every single day. You're also going to learn a lot by your own experience. So if you're, for me in retail, it's like if you're using the product, then you can communicate more effectively like how that product works for someone. I don't believe in selling products that I don't believe in. So everything in our store is something that I very specifically can tell you why that product is in our store. I don't want to sell anybody garbage, you know. But beyond that, something that was really empowering for me, and actually we just ran into this with our Halloween party. I had a very like specific vision in my head of what I wanted our Halloween party to be, and it went very well, actually. We had a line of people around the block lined up for our trick-or-treat. But there were little things that weren't exactly the way that I wanted them to be, right? Like just little things. And the thing about that is nobody who came to that event knew that. Nobody. So the event that those customers' experience was the perfect event because that's all that they knew was going to be there. And now next year we have something to grow into. So I think that's the biggest thing is like, you know all the stuff that didn't happen or that didn't occur or that you wanted to be different, but the person on the other end does not. So just believe in what you have, like in front of you, and then know that like the next time that comes around, you can make it better. Or you can make it like more of that vision like you had before. Does that help?
Mhm.
Okay. Yes.
I just want to piggyback off of hers. Because you talked a lot about being nice and everything, which I love that. I want to get your stance on like, what's your opinion about the customer is always right mentality?
Yeah. They are. Yeah.
They are.
I don't remember if I said this during my talk or not, but I think I did. I can love any dog for 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So the dog world is a pretty contentious place.
Mhm.
People have a lot of opinions from what type of food to feed to how you train your dog, where you source your dog, right? Are they from the rescue? Did you adopt them? Are they from a breeder? Are they from a pet store, right? I don't care. I have opinions, but my job is not to take my opinion and put it on you. My job is to help you live a better life with your dog. And so when customers come in and they might have an opinion that I very strongly disagree with, again, it's like, how can we have conversations with people over time that are maybe like, yeah, maybe you should not use force with your dog when you're training them, right? Is there another way? And I think about that a lot with myself too, because we often refer to Zay as our know better, do better dog. June, the derpy dog at the Grand Canyon, horribly trained. Very aggressive, very mean, not nice to people, absolutely trained in 100% the wrong way. And so once you know, you can start to make progress on like, I know that there's a different way. And I think for a lot of people, especially in the dog world, it's just ignorance, but it's just because you don't know, right? So I try to remind myself of that pretty frequently is like, is this a situation where like maybe we just don't know? Because as a 20-year-old, I 100% would have been the person who was like, posted up, like, you're wrong. You're the one that's wrong. I'm not wrong, right? So we just try to have grace with people. But I do think the customer is right. At the same time, I have had customers walk into my store and ask if they could get a discount for a sale a week early, and I have told those people no. So you set your rules, right? And those people, like, they've never been in my store before. Now, if Amanda or Tabitha or really anybody else walked in who was a frequent customer, Brianna, said, hey, we're going to be out of town, can I have this discount early? Yeah, that's fine, absolutely, right? Yeah, so hopefully that helps. Yes?
So you mentioned a 10-year plan earlier. I mean, you're a year in now. So did you go through a planning process, or have you been working on it this year? Like, where do we want to be next year, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, so on?
It's in my head. It's not written down on paper. But yeah, I have what I feel like is a pretty clear vision of where I want to go. And then we try to like pulse check every so often to get to that point. I do know I'm going to need funding, so I'm going to have to write a lot of it down on paper at some point. So eventually one day the banks will tell me yes. So.
All right, everyone. Can we give a round of applause to Kristen? Thank you all for joining today. We did record this, so this will eventually be on our YouTube channel, which is Missouri SBDC at MSSU. It'll just take a few days and hopefully it'll be up. We do have another speaker coming on Wednesday, November 19th at 10 a.m. here in this room. It will be Jordan CPA, so any CPA services if you're interested in that. Thank you guys again for coming, and we hope you have a great day.